Okay na, okay yun. Sarah, lumabas ka na dyan. Bigyan na nga kita ng chance. Huwag ka na umiyak. Maririnig kita sa dami. Ay, nako. Ano ba, Sarah? Buksan mo ng pintuan na to. Diyos ko po. Ay, salamat sa Lord, hindi pala lock. Ha? Nandiyan ka pala, Sarah. Okay ka lang ba? Parang nanakot ka kanina ni Pacquiao. Sige, bigyan kita ng chance. Magaling ka sa math. Pwede pumunta sa dining hall. Hindi ka sisisihin ng teacher mo. Ha? Ano ba? Ngayon ka kasapan. Okay, fine. I'm going to prove my worth to you. How will I do that? Using my beautiful imagination. 1, 2, 3, bam! Nandito na kami sa utak ko. Wow! Ang galing ng... Tingnan mo naman yung imagination ko. Color black. Wow! Okay. It is also the color of my soul, by the way. Dahil umuulan na, I'm also going to be I'm also going to be very verbal. Kasi if I don't speak very verbal, you will hear the rain. Okay. So, nandito na duty ko. Princess Sarah will be speaking English, by the way, because it is the most beautiful, sophisticated language in the world. So, let us start with our equation. I am going to use the color blue. So, for our equation, now, we will start with the hard one, because in life, it's always like that with people. They always want to do the hard one first and the easy one next, or some people don't like to do that. It depends on the person, but for me, we do the hard one first, because I want to prove my worth. So, we start. We have, that is such a horrible number to, wait, please, okay. So, I'm going to write small 25x squared. That is very, very horrible quality. Okay, 25x squared. Okay, 25x squared less than equal to 1 plus 10x. I'm so sorry, it's very hard to write on my imagination. Okay, so this is our equation. What's wrong here is we have 1 and we have 10, but they are after our sign here. So as you know, this obviously does not look like standard form to you. So what we have to do now is we have to transfer the 10 and we have to transfer the 1. So our new equation will now be 25x squared. This remains because, as you know, our standard form, this is our standard form. Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus, such a horrible math, plus c. So this is our standard form. So in this case, we have to transfer our 10. As you know, transposing numbers to the other side of our equation also changes the sign. So if our 10x is positive, now it is going to be negative. So it's going to be negative 10x. And also our 1. So minus 1. We also have to write our sign here. So in this case, our sign is less than, equal to 0, since our equation will be about real numbers in our number line. So in this case, we will be using the equation such as this. So this is our equation now. Okay, we are done transposing. Now we are looking for our binomial. Now, our binomial will consist of these two numbers. So what is times itself equals to 25, but adds to itself equals to 10. So in this case, we will be having 5x minus 1, and again, we will be having 5x minus 1. Okay, I'm sorry if you hear the sound of my mouse. It's hard to write. So, wait. Why is there a mouse in my utak? Joke lang. Anyway, we're talking about no mouse. So, this is our binomial. Now, we need to solve for our critical point. So, twice you have to write this. Critical. This is very easy to write. Totally. Critical point. So, our critical point, since we have 5x minus 1, we will write it such as 5x minus 1 equals to 0. What we have to do is transfer the 1 after our sign, our equal sign. So now we will have our critical point will be 5x equals to 1, which is now positive because we transposed. Remember when we transpose it. This is our binomial. Now we need to solve for our critical point. So, do I seriously have to write this? Critical. This is very easy to write, totally. Critical point. So, our critical point, since we have 5x minus 1, we will write it such as 5x minus 1 equals to 0. What we have to do is transfer the 1 after our sign, our equal sign. So now we will have our critical point will be 5x equals to 1, which is now positive because we transpose. Remember, when we transpose, it changes sign. Now our critical point will be x equals 1 over 5. So our critical point is x equals 1 over 5. Simple. Now, our next equation here, this will be our number line. So this is our line, arrows, 0, 1, 2. I'm just gonna make this short. I'm just going to make it until 3. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Very good. Okay. Our critical point, it's 1 over 5. Positive 1 over 5. So I will here, let's assume that this is 1 over 5. And I will draw an existing line that goes downwards. Okay. So this line separates our positive. This line separates our critical points, positive values, and negative values. What I mean by positive and negative values, I will show to you now. So our critical point is x equals 1 over 5, yeah, actually 1 over 5. So this is what we'll do. All the numbers from this side to the right side, we will write it this way. So x, meaning numbers this side, x will always be greater than, x will always be greater than 1 over 5 on this side, and on the other side, of course, x will be less than 1 over 5. Okay, so let me explain this part a bit more thoroughly. So in this part, x will be a number chosen on the right side of our critical point. In this case, our right side is from here to here. This is our right side. So this represents this equation. And on our left side, this is the one that it represents. Okay, so then to measure our values legitimacy, big word legitimacy, to measure our values legitimacy, we will be using our binomial. In this case, our binomial, we have here 5x, okay, we have our x minus 1. So this means any number that we switch off to x, that this is our x value, okay? So this is our x value. So let's use this part of the equation first. So any number that comes, any number that we take from here, from this part of the number line, shall always result to being less than 1 over 5. In this case, let's take negative 2. So 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. So negative 10 minus 1 is negative 9. So therefore, our, okay, so equals to negative 9. Therefore, this explains that so our value here, negative 9, because 5 times x, we took our value negative 2, so presumably 5 times negative 2 equals to negative 10. Negative 10 minus negative 1 is negative 9. So negative 9 is negative. Therefore, according to our equation, it will always be less than 1 over 5, which is true. True. Next, we take our value here, and we see if it adds up correctly to this equation. So this part of the equation, x, so let's take a positive value. Let's take 3 this time. So 5 times 3, 5 times 3, 5 times 15, minus 1 is 14. So 14 is greater than 1 over 5. Yes, that is correct. So this shows that our binomial. So 5. So our value here, negative 9, because 5 times x, we took our value negative 2, so presumably 5 times negative 2 equals to negative 10. Negative 10 minus negative 1 is negative 9. So negative 9 is negative, therefore, according to our equation, it will always be less than 1 over 5, which is true. True. Next, we take our value here, and we see if it adds up correctly to this equation. So this part of the equation, x. So let's take a positive value. Let's take 3 this time. So 5 times 3, 5 times 3, 5 times 15, minus 1 is 14. So 14 is greater than 1 over 5. Yes, that is correct. So this shows that our binomial represents that it is real numbers. Why is it real numbers? Because our value of x is true to this equation. In such case, for example, no solution, then that would mean that our critical point would be, for example, our critical point would be on 2. And we assume that our critical point is negative 1. So if we put up the equation x is greater than negative 1, and we take up the values that's on the right, so 2 is greater than negative 1, then that's not real, because there's no way negative 1 could ever be greater than 2. So therefore, we write our solution set such as x, this here represents real numbers, or you can just write all real numbers there. So that's it for a hard part of the equation. Now, teacher, do you think I did a good job? I think I did a good job, huh? Great. Okay, let's move on to an easy equation. Okay, so easy equation, white paper, not trying to be racist here, but okay. So you've just witnessed my hard equation. I'm now going to show you an easier, more simplified equation so you can relax your brain. Okay, so for our simple equation, I will give you the binomial already. So, whoops, I said I will give you our binomial already. Okay, so in this case, let's take 3x minus 1 there. 3x minus 1. Okay, we are looking for our critical point. Therefore, we will write it as 3x minus 1 equals to 0. As I explained earlier, 1 must be transposed to the other side to get our critical point. So now it will be 3x equals to 1. 1 becomes positive because we have transposed it. Okay. Next, rearrange our values, so we will have x equals 1 over 3. This will be our critical point. I think it's better if the background's black. It's more understandable. Wait. Yeah, okay, I just totally erased all the numbers there. Okay, let's just keep it like this. Okay, okay, so moving on to our next part of the equation, we will have our number 9 again, as usual. Number 9, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, negative 1, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, our critical point is 1 over 3. We will assume that this part here is 1 over 3. And I will draw our line that separates them. So there. Just as I explained before, we will write this over again. So x, according to our equation, will always be, oops, it's negative. X will always be greater than 1 over 3. Okay, our critical point is 1 over 3. We will assume that this part here is 1 over 3. And I will draw our line that separates them. So there. Just as I explained before, we will write this over again. So x, according to our equation, will always be, oops, it's negative. X will always be greater than 1 over 3. So everything that goes here means that this is true. Everything that goes here, wrong color. Everything that goes here will always satisfy x is less than 1 over 3. Okay, our critical point. Our critical point, 1 over 3. We will take in our binomials now. So our binomial here is 3x minus 1. Let us check if this satisfies our value. So 3, let's take negative 2. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus negative 1 is negative 5. Why did it take so much time for me to think of that? Negative 5. Okay. Such horrible parentheses. 5. So our value negative 5 is less than 1 over 3. That is correct. Because negative 5 is less than 1 over 3. Next, we will take in our x is greater than 1 over 3 value. So x, let's take 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. So we will take in, I cannot undo that. 3 times 3, 9 minus 1, minus 1 is 8. Okay, minus 1 is 8. Therefore, our 8 is greater than 1 over 3. That is correct. Therefore, we write the same equation as a while ago. Is x e, actually solution set. Here it is, the solution set. All real numbers. There. So basically, this shows that this is all real numbers. Okay, fine. I'm going to prove my worth to you. How will I do that? Using my beautiful imagination. 1, 2, 3, bam! Nandito na kami sa utak ko. Wow! Ang galing ng... Tingnan mo naman yung imagination ko. Color black. Wow! Okay. It is also the color of my soul, by the way. Dahil umuulan na, I'm also going to be I'm also going to be